I can't find the original video of what he's talking about, but I kind of want to respond a little bit to Tectone here, because he makes good points, but if I remember, I kind of already forgotten the video, if I'm being honest, so I'm gonna have to react to it in real time. But for those of you that don't know, Tectone, pretty prominent streamer. He's got a lot of viewers. He knows Twitch and like the shit that they're doing.
Anyways, I call a fat bitch fat. I call an OnlyFans girl a whore. And in total, I get banned for around 4 fucking weeks. I tell a viewer to kill himself. That one I deserved. I deserved that one. I deserve to get banned for that one. But anyways, call a fat bitch fat. I call an OnlyFans girl a whore after they call me a rapist, by the way. They didn't get banned. I did. So that's been very fun. But I hate this fucking platform. And the reason why that is because they don't properly enforce their TOS. And when you don't do that, it leads to a lot of agenda pushing. And that's not good to have on any platform. So there's a new issue that we're finally addressing. Let me rephrase that. It's an old issue that we're now finally paying attention to by the word of viewbots. Now, viewbots is something that...
It's a little bit of a weird sidetrack into viewbots, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm not saying that he's wrong. You can say it's agenda pushing if you want. I feel like that's not that far of a stretch, especially when it comes to like the lengths that certain streamers get banned for. It definitely seems pointed towards certain directions, but in general, I feel like a huge issue is that TOS is just applied randomly. It's like a shotgun. They get a few occasionally at random times, and even the ban lengths aren't the same. Like, you'll have 2 or 3 people that are involved in an incident, right? And then they'll ban them or take them off the platform at completely different times. Nobody knows.
I myself am very familiar with due to a old channel by the name of Fextra Life. Now, a couple of years ago, I'm not sure if you guys...
All right, that's not entirely true. All right, so Fextra Life, which is the like games and Game Informer kind of level thing, which we talked about before, where what they would do is on their website, so people that are looking up like guides for video games and stuff like that, they can do what this used to be a thing. It's called embedded videos. And during embedded videos, what it would do is anyone that goes to their site to look up like video game guides, there would be a 1 pixel, and I'm not exaggerating, it'd be like a 1 pixel wide, or it'd be like a little bar in the corner, and the volume would be turned off so it wouldn't even be on. And what it was is a live stream, and it would count anyone that's looking up their information on the guides as a viewer. So Fextra Life, whenever they would do live streams, would be clocking like fucking ridiculous amounts of views. It'd be insane, and chat would be completely dead. Like, even if they were offline, they'd be clocking ridiculous amounts of views. And the reason is because they had embedded their live stream on their own webpage for guides. And that's what he's referring to then. Now, I don't know if they actually quote-unquote view-botted, like as in they paid for bots to go and watch their shit. If that is true, I didn't hear about it at the time, but I do know Fextra Life was embedding their videos into their own streams, and that was a popular tactic for a lot of people to use. So essentially, it was fake viewers.
Remember on Steak and Eggs, but Asmund Gold and I were attempting to take down, and I think we successfully did, a channel by the name of Fextra Life who would go live in every category with 50, 60,000 viewers that were not legitimate real viewers, which was the big first view embedding scandal that was ever really taken down. Well, now, and I'm just going to be completely real with you guys, 3 years after that, everybody is view botting. I mean this genuinely. When Twitch rolls out what they're going to roll out, I would be shocked if 95% of streamers do not drop by 30 to 60% of their concurrent viewership. And the reason why that is because everybody knows there is no punishment for view botting. Everybody knows that if you're a female streamer, your chat's gonna view bot you. If you're a part of the gotcha space, the companies that support you are gonna view bot you, as well as other advertisers like Progressive, who would bot their streamers 25,000 to 30,000 viewers whenever anybody would do a Progressive ad. That way more people would be driven to that channel. Now,
see, that's really interesting to me. Okay? That is really interesting and pretty important to me. Because a lot of you don't know this, but I've been kind of bitching and moaning to Penguin for a long time about all these random people viewbotting. And I've been pretty, like, on point with a lot of them. Because, like, I've had people that are viewbotting raid me. I've seen a lot of channels that are clearly viewbotting. I'm talking 100, 200, 300, even 1,000 viewers with, like, 5 people in chat over the course of an hour. Like, I'm talking completely dead, no conversations, no action. I've seen people... There was a guy a while back that streamed... It was a test. I swear to God, this was a test. Because when I was looking at the live streams for Skyrim, there was a channel that had zero follows. Completely brand new. He had no mic, no camera. It was a brand new channel. And it was clocking 1,000 viewers. And what it was is a guy sitting at a wall, not moving, not talking, absolutely nothing happening with no game audio. And he sat at 1,000 views for about 5 hours, and they ended the stream. And I had seen on his channel that he did that about 20 times. Okay? And what I'm assuming is that that was someone testing viewbots. One, to see if the account gets deleted or banned, or whatever it is. Two, if they, like, I'm assuming it's someone testing the viewbots to see whether or not Twitch bans the account, doesn't count them as viewers, or whatever have you. But, we've even been raided by a guy, which I had told Penguin about because I went and looked at him. He does a YouTube channel, and he was sitting at 300 and I think it was 42 active viewers, and had 3 people in chat over the course of like 2, 3, or 4 hours, depending on which stream you're talking about. This is multiple streams. And then additionally, there's been streamers where I've seen that have their mic is fucked up, or their video feed is fucked up. You can't even see anything. And they'll still be clocking an average of 100 viewers, right? And I think it's important to note why. All right, this is something that's skipped out a lot. And really and truly, it's because there's no other way to be found unless you're at, like, near the top 5 of the category. The top 5 rows, right? Because most people aren't going to stream all the way, or they're going to do the opposite. So, I'm going to pull this up real quick. The reason why a lot of people viewbot is for things like, let's see, what we got at the top game right now? Street Fighter 6. Okay. How many people are streaming Street Fighter 6? So when he's talking about companies, this is what I'm thinking about. Things like this. Now, obviously, this is I'm assuming a tournament or whatever. But think about something like, we're showcasing our new game, or something like that, and they're like, oh, well, we can just view bot, and then we'll be at the top of the list on the homepage, because the homepage is really where you want to be, because a lot of people are going to click on it just stopping by. But where you don't want to be, if we sort this, is in the middle, right? So you can scroll down, and you'll start seeing severe drop-off, right? A bar, if you do like a full web page, is about 3 to 4 channels, right? So essentially, right, that's the first block. We're at 60K to 11K. We'll move one block down. We're at 6K to about 4K. One more block down. We went from 4K, now we're down to 1.5. Go another block. We're down 600, 400, 300, and like if you're trying to find a good streamer or someone to chill out with, there's a lot of people to pick from. Look how much scrolling I'm doing. Like, we're having to reload the page as we go. So you either want to be at the very bottom, which this is actually why a lot of brand new streamers will find themselves doing super well, super fast, which is actually really ironic. But brand new streamers that don't have ads on their channel yet, because they're at the bottom, will actually have a lot of people stopping by if they're in a good game. where like people can find them because they know that they can hang out with them, and they're new. But the middle of the sea is like the hardest spot to fucking be in. It really is, because people have to search for you and find you now. And a lot of these games, that's not going to happen because you're just out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, all right, look at these 4 channels. They look damn near the same. Like, the more viewers you have, the more viewers you can get, because the closer you are to the top. And that's a big problem, I feel like, with view botting, is that Twitch feeds people that are doing well, all right? It even furthers with the hype trains, right? You get a hype train going, now you're being recommended over here on the side for people to click on. Do I think Queso is view botting? I don't really. I mean, he might. I'll let the video play out, and I'll go back as to why I think he might.
Just one channel, 3, 4 channels at the same time. View botting has always been a huge issue, but here's the crazy thing. You know what's been the biggest issue? People who didn't view bot. And the reason why that is because if you didn't view bot, I'll be real, you just weren't gonna make it. In the top 500 of Twitch, everybody is fucking view botting. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. These numbers are fraudulent as fuck.
And it does matter the amount, right? Like, to what amount is the bots? There was a guy that was on Kick. I can't remember, but Kick a while back. I watched a video on this. I might pull it up. Kick a while back rolled out like, I can't remember. It's like a ban day. I can't remember what it's called, but like a lot of video games, and I guess Kick decided to mimic it, which is they ban bots all at the same time. Right? Like, even if you report it, they're not going to ban the account right then and there, because then they can adapt quickly and like test out what works and what doesn't work. So instead, it's like a batch ban, and Kick did that. They batch banned, and there were a lot of streamers that were at like 100K viewers that went down to like 5. Okay? Now, I know that's Kick and that's not Twitch, but like, what's the punishment on Twitch? I feel like Twitch doesn't have that big of an investment into banning bots, because they can technically count them as viewers, right? So that makes them more advertiser friendly, and like they can essentially sell advertisement slots even more by being like, oh yeah, we have this amount of viewers. So there is that. All right, let's not get it twisted and be like, oh, like Twitch has a vested interest in getting rid of bots, because they really don't. Outside of the fact that it's just going to make the content and the community upset and like essentially drag it down, and I feel like that's important to note. I didn't realize I picked that up. But like in terms of an actual, like, I mean, we already went through this with Twitter, right? Twitter had a huge amount of bots, still does. They didn't ever bother with it because it didn't matter. It didn't matter to them the amount of bots that they had, because there's no negative to it. If anything, it actually made it better.
But here's what's crazy. Dan Clancy finally decided to talk about view botting, and what he says is harrowing. Now let's talk about this. We've seen a couple of comments about how our systems detect inauthentic views that aren't accurate, so I want to clarify a few things. As I said in my original post, it is important to understand that the technology that we use to detect invalid traffic for ads is separate from what we use for computing ACCV. Viewbots are just one form of invalid traffic. Advertisers are not charged for invalid impressions, and creators do not get paid out for any of these impressions. Now you may ask, why are there two systems? The reason is that it is harder to detect viewbots in real time. There are a number of different signals that we can use after the fact to detect invalid traffic for advertising that are harder to use for real-time detection. As we filter out bots in real time, we need to make sure we're not filtering out real viewers. This is the important part. In fact, the viewbot detection tools we just rolled out went through a lot of edits. In an earlier version, as we dug deeper, we found that the tool was being overly aggressive and not counting valid traffic from various sources.
Now, again, like I said, I want to toss that in as a reiteration as to what I said earlier, which is you don't want to ban them at the moment and at the time, because then people can do workarounds, right? Obviously, I think there's some fucking Gucci bots out there that can mimic, like, they'll use AI and they'll actually, like, interact with what's happening or mimic actual people. But for whatever mechanics that they're using to detect the bots after the fact, if you could detect them at the moment, then you're essentially, that might work for like a week, maybe a month, and then they'll figure it out and then work around it, right? That's kind of another iteration as to why bash bans are really important. I do find it funny though that they hold your pay. I find that hilarious to be like, oh yeah, no, we detected them right in time before we paid you. We didn't pay you for those views. We figured out that they were bought before it became payday, okay? I do find that interesting. I find that really hilarious, and that's how that's worded. Chat so sad the guy was typing to himself. Look, when you're 2 hours in and you start hitting the when you're 2 hours in and you gotta hit the I gotta check and make sure chat's working. Maybe it disconnected. Oh fuck, it's still working. All right, I'm gonna end it here, guys. I've been there. I'm not gonna lie, I've been there.
So what this means, guys, is that there actually is potential that they release this anti-viewbot software and it filters out real viewers. So we are currently trusting Twitch with 100% of our hearts. There is actually a very real chance that with this new viewbot detection program that they're going to roll out, that they actually fuck over streamers and filter out real viewers.
Now, see, here's the thing. I'm going to be real with you. If you didn't get paid on Twitch, like, the amount of views that you should have been, no one's going to know. 100%. 100%. You could track it 1-to-1, right? Anything past 1-to-1, you're not going to know. Like, I hate to say it, but that's true. Like, if I took a log of every single video and I kept track of my views and the payout, if I did that, I could do it 1-to-1, right? If Twitch goes, actually, yeah, we decided that that exact amount that you're missing, those were bots. You'd never know. You wouldn't know, and you wouldn't be able to argue against it. 100%. There's nothing you could do about it. And now I understand what Tectone is saying here, right? Which is like, oh yeah, we got to trust Twitch to implement this effectively and then not fuck us over. There's nothing to say they're not fucking us over now. Oh, if you want to be 100% honest, like, they could easily say it's not 1-to-1 right now. They could be like, oh yeah, those were bots, and be like, okay, or like scammers, or those were some of the people you reported. I would have no idea. There's nothing I can do about it. It'd just be like they could essentially be doing the exact same thing right now. 100%. Especially if you're in a big channel, 100%. They could just be like, eh.
Now I want you to let that sink in. This can be absolutely catastrophic. And now let me tell you why this is. When a platform is rolling out something so aggressively to counteract the viewbots, there is so much faith that we have to have in this platform. And to have such a shaky response to saying, well, there's a chance that we filter out real viewers. Well, that's concerning. And the other thing is, if there's a chance they filter out real viewers, that means there's also a chance of them fucking up and not getting rid of fake viewers. And the reason why that is because now the viewbot exodus has the ability to either make people look fraudulent who weren't and make people look legitimate who weren't. And what do I mean by that? If someone has some type of very high-class, highbrow view bots that somehow escape the massive view bot scandal, well, now they're going to be legitimized for no reason. There's a lot of blatant view botters. There's going to be a lot of streamers that
I kind of disagree with that point on premise. I mean, I get what he's saying. I do, which is like, I assume what he's implying is if your methods for checking bots might select like people and get rid of their accounts, that means it's not tight enough, which means other bots can get through. Here's the thing, I really don't care if bots get through. All right, if they got some premium fucking quality bots over there and they're amazing and they're not being picked up as people, that's fine. I don't care as long as you get rid of like fucking 10% of them. Don't care. That's fine. All right. Now, if you're a viewer and you get flagged as a bot, and what I'm actually worried about is if your account doesn't get taken. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, what if you're a viewer that never gets counted as a viewer? All right, no matter where you go, no matter what you watch, no matter what you do, you're never a viewer. Now, let's say that's like 10% or some fucking ridiculous amount of Twitch right now. That's what I would be worried about. Or is a group of people that get flagged and they have no way of knowing that they're flagged as a bot. And there's no way to rebuttal against it because nothing has actually come to your attention that Twitch thinks you're a bot. So if it flagged me as a bot, that's gonna really suck because I mainly watch small streamers. So my view, and I'll sit there if I actually find someone I like, I'll sit there for the entire day. Like I'll lurk too. I'll be like I actually say in chat I'll lurk so that way it counts as a viewer for you. Now, that's going to really dick over small streamers because that one view that I have is now going to be counted as a bot. And I know that Twitch wants that to go to affiliates, but what about the other stuff? What about the other stuff that you need actual viewers for? Is that, I assume bots wouldn't count as that, right? That's what I would be thinking of.
Drop from 10 figures to 4 figures, 4 figures to 3 figures, 3 figures to 2 figures. And this right now is very concerning. I don't know when this is going to be rolled out. I believe it was actually already rolled out 4 days ago, but I think we're going to see a lot of fucky view counts very, very, very soon. Who is going to get fucked over and who isn't, we don't know. But such a unsure response and already saying, yeah, an earlier version that we had a couple of weeks ago was getting rid of real viewers. Well, Dan, I'm going to be real. That's really worrisome because you can fuck over a lot of people for no reason, especially if you're permabanning their viewers. Let's keep going here. 50% of Twitch views are bots, probably? Oh, I absolutely agree. I do. Guys, I absolutely do. As we've said, we are rolling out the update gradually right now so that we can monitor it and make sure there are not any issues or mistakes. The second point I want to make is around enforcement actions. Taking enforcement actions against view bots is complicated, as it can be difficult to conclusively determine if an individual streamer is responsible for the view bots on their channel. Now, I do expect that most of the view botting that we see on channels is being driven by the channel owner. However, if we were to suspend someone for view botting, then the easiest way to attack someone on Twitch and get them suspended would be to send view bots their way.
That's 100% true. 100%. Because you can view bot any channel. Anyone, you could just view bot their channel. So if you do take action against that without it being clear that the owner is the one that's actively doing it, then that's a big problem. But yeah, like you could 100% just view bot any channel. Anyone can do it. You could just weaponize that. And it happened immediately. The second that they're like, damn, this account has a ton of view bots, right? Because keep in mind, there's a lot of fucking crazy people out there. I mean, matter of fact, Tectone on one of the podcasts I was listening to, Unsub podcast, fucking love those guys. He was talking about how one of his viewers went to his house. Not like anything malicious, just through the images that and some of the streams he's done, he saw the front door of his house, and the guy went through all the photos of houses in Texas, whatever city he's in, and then found his house and then went and dropped off like gifts to his fucking house. fucking crazy. All right, that's psycho behavior. Thank God he wasn't violent. But so like, if you, especially like for some of these what the simps with some of the female streamers, 100% of them would send them a DM and just be like, hey, I just botted you like 1,000 views or some shit like that. 100% you can see that happening, right? So he's right. All right, you can't really take action against the accounts like that unless you have definite proof. 100% agree.
What we can do with a lot more precision is identify the view bots themselves. That is what we work hard with to detect and remove from Twitch. View botting is not unique to Twitch, and in fact is, and by the way, while I do believe that banning people who are view botting is 1,000,000% what you should do, the problem is that it is very hard to detect. But the other thing is,
that's not the problem. That's not the problem at all. I can detect view bots. All right, because here's the thing: you don't need to get everyone. You only got to get the big ones. That's it. You only got to get the guy that's view botting 100,000 viewers, and he's only got 5. That's the only one you got to get. All right, you ain't got to get the one that's got 100. You need to get the 1,000 ones. All right, the guys that are view botting thousands of times that are being the #1 streamer in any category. Those are the ones you got to get. That's it. And it's super easy to tell. Let's be real. It's super easy to tell. All right, let's say you got some premium bots. All right, fine. Then you don't get those. But something is better than nothing.
if there were channels that were solely being made off of view botting, they're gonna fall off regardless, and then they'll quit. And that's just the truth.
Yep.
They will. They will just simply quit.
Let's not forget that Kick guy, that fucking Doherty guy or whatever the fuck his name was, the guy that crashed the Lambo and then yelled at his camera guy. He fell off and he was like view botting like 90,000 viewers or some crazy shit like that. I don't remember the number. I'm just tossing shit out. I don't remember them. But it was something crazy. It was a crazy amount. It was like a significant portion of his viewership was bots. Once Kick rolled out their bash ban. All right, those are the guys. Those are the ones you got to get. Other than that,
Now let's keep going here. View botting is not unique to Twitch. Very true. And in fact, is a problem across all social media. Very true.
Yeah.
While historically we've been able to address this problem for advertisers on Twitch, view botting was still a challenge for direct sponsorships. We rolled out these updates in part to address the direct sponsorship issues. We're talking openly about the changes we're making because we think it's an important conversation.
Did you hear that? Did you guys catch that? The only reason why they're addressing this issue is due to sponsorships and paid advertising. That's the only reason. Because this is the exact thing I said. See, Twitter started this. When Musk did that, like, what's your percentage of bots on the thing? Because that was affecting the value of the company. Then it started this whole cascade of to where now advertisers want to know that they're advertising to actual people and not to fucking bots. So now, a lot of these companies are going to have to start implementing things to try and catch all the bots that are running rampant. Other than that, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They don't care if people view bot. If anything, it was positive to them. And honestly and truly, I actually don't expect this to be implemented that strongly. I think that this is just in word of mouth, if I'm being honest. They're going to snag a few. They're going to snag a few high-end people, right? And they're going to be like, see, we're taking steps. We're taking strides. We're getting rid of them. And it's probably going to be some people that they already wanted to get rid of. And then what they're going to do? Not a damn thing. And they're going to be like, look, we've already taken steps. We're taking steps to get rid of them. Okay, the rest of these viewers, now you know. Now you got your assurance. They're real. They're 100% real. Now pay us. You can say I'm wrong if you want, but that's truly how I view it.
I've seen some numbers shared on social media about the number of top creators that are view botting, and I can tell you those numbers are just flat out wrong. I think...
Yeah, it's probably more. Let's be real here. It's probably more. All right, like I said, I don't expect him to acknowledge it, but yeah, it's definitely a lot more. I would probably wager, I'm not saying everybody, but I would definitely wager a significant amount of people are view botting, even in the high ends, right? Because there's absolutely no punishment as long as it doesn't get connected back to you.
That is scary how inaccurate that is. I genuinely do. I think it is legitimately horrifying how big of a lie that is when Dan Clancy, the CEO himself, is saying, yeah guys, the top streamers definitely aren't viewbotting. Yes, they fucking are. Like, this is such a wholly one brain cell take, it's fucking ridiculous. It is so blatant how many top streamers are viewbotting. Not a couple hundred, not a couple thousand, tens of thousands of viewers. Guys, I even know a streamer who's botting 14,000 right now that I have a feeling isn't gonna go live for a while. Yep, I have a feeling they're not gonna go live for a while. But we will see. I have a feeling we're gonna start to see a lot of creators randomly go on breaks. I have a feeling we're gonna see a couple of creators randomly go on breaks, but we will see. We're talking.
Like I said, I think they're gonna get a few. I really don't think this is gonna be implemented that well. It's probably gonna hit hard for a little bit, and then it's gonna either A, the bots are gonna change, and they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, we can't be recognized, we're fine now, or it's just gonna go away after a little bit.
Talking openly about the changes we're making because we think it's important conversation. I have seen some numbers shared on social media about the number of top creators that are viewbotting, and I can tell you that those numbers are just flat out wrong. I don't know when or how they did their study, but the numbers they.
Now, see, here's the thing. He just said we did an internal study on the amount of people that are viewbotting, and they're wrong. It's like, obviously you wouldn't know, or else your system would have gotten rid of them, right? Right? oh, so you mean the channels that you check for bots, you didn't find them as bots? Fucking amazing. So fucking dumb.
Shared do not reflect what we see on the service. It's very simple, Dan. You just download a fucking application and it tells you how many legitimate viewers are there or not. Let's talk about the follow-up for Dan Saltman. Here's the part where it gets really, really, really fucking bad. Dan Saltman is calling out the gifted subs algorithm on Twitch, alleged that there's higher priority for bots over real users and followers.
Yeah, this is a part I thought would be interesting, because I kind of wanted to talk about this one too, which is, you know, I'll let him keep talking. I'll stop it here in a minute.
So I bet Twitch wanted real users to watch more ads and push bots, aka new users to get gifts versus old accounts. Now I want you to read this because this is so fucking important. For anyone who is interested in some viewbot statistics, logs.ivr.fi is a great resource, no connection. You can grab a single day's worth of chat by using a URL like this, and then see how many gifted subs went to bots. It's a lot, lol. In the logs, search for gifted, then check which users that you identify as bots got a gift sub.
So let me go ahead and kind of shorten this a little bit so you guys understand what's being said here for like absolutely certain, which is essentially this. He's claiming that whenever you gift subs, it prioritizes bots getting the gifted subs, or people that haven't been on Twitch for a while, or like their accounts are essentially dead, and it's prioritizing them getting the gifted subs as opposed to other people and players or whatever you want to call it, right? And I disagree with that. Now, I think, and I'm not saying that's a good thing, right? I disagree with it, but I'm not saying it in a positive way. I think it is truly random. I think that there are so many fucking bots, and people accrue so many bots in their, like, as followers and subs and dead accounts over time, that it really is like a 70-90% chance of it being gifted to the bots. Like, that's actually what I think. The reason why I say that is because, like, how many followers does it say I have right now? Like, we're at like what, 270? Or 274. I guarantee you I probably got like 20. I probably have like 20 active followers that watch streams every day. The rest of it probably is bots. Because every time I stream, I get 1 to 2 bots that follow me to try and scam me for art and stuff. Like what, an hour? Every stream I get 1 to 2. And I stream damn near every day a week, right? The closer you are to the bottom, also the more bots you get. Now, I don't know how long these people are at the bottom for, but I imagine that they're accruing some bots, especially if you're big and people are trying to scam shit in. So here's what I would want. This is what I want. Now, I don't know. All right, things could look a lot different once you're up there. Maybe if this is from the point of view of like, I'm a big streamer and we get way more real followers than we do bots, because bots don't bother trying to advertise in my chat. What I would want to see is look at people's mod list and see if there are advertisements or not. All right, in their band chats or whatever it is, right? Because I don't know. I know that once you get to a certain size, people could bot your channel with negative comments. I know that's a thing. Or like to flag certain things. So this is a little bit of an inside bit of weaponry that I know that people can use on Twitch, which is they'll bot people's channels and they'll say wild shit. And if you the streamer, don't remove those comments, you are then held liable for the things that are in your chat. And Twitch can ban your account for that. This happened. It's actually happened a few times. Recently, actually. So, like, if people are saying wild shit in your chat and you don't do anything about it or you don't address it correctly, then you're held for that. So, it's an easy thing to bot. Just have bots in there just causing up a whole bunch of shit. So, I don't know what the ratio is. I mean, obviously, if you're big and you're, you know, a high-end streamer, maybe the ratio looks a lot different. But I know on this end, it probably like 90% of bots. That's why I say if you're going to gift stuff, it would be better if you directly gift it to people, but you do whatever you want to do. If you just want to toss some gifts my way, I always accept it happily. But that's what I think. That's a little bit of what I would say towards that, but I want to make a very pointed note to this, which is I say that as a negative. That it is, in fact, completely random. I think that's bad. Okay? I think, which he'll say here in a moment, I think he's absolutely correct in this, because he's going to say this here in a moment, in that it should prioritize people that watch and are actively talking in your chat. It should absolutely do that. You know, maybe it'd be a little bit of a toss-up if they haven't, you know, if they were gifted a sub pretty recently. But here's the other side of that. I can see exactly why Twitch wouldn't do that. 100%. 100%. It makes sense to give gifted subs to like brand new people that were just in your chat. Or old people that maybe forgot about your channel. 100%. I get gifted subs all the random time. Not to me as a streamer, but I'm talking like as a viewer. I'll be gifted subs from like channels I saw fucking years ago. And what do? Next time I see them live, I'll stop by. 100%. So it's like, it's a good system if you're not taking into account of bots, right? Because you've already kind of passed the vibe check, and also you got gifted a sub. And most people feel obligated to come stop by once they get gifted a sub. They're like, oh shit, I gotta see what this guy's up. Zenesis does that. Anytime he gets like randomly a gifted sub, his ass comes stopping by, come hang out for a little bit. He's been gifted like 2 subs that Penguin's gifted out, and he comes by. So it's a good system, just not with bots in mind. I disagree that it's prioritizing it. I want to make that clear. I don't think it's prioritizing. I think that's just what the stats are, right? Because I would also imagine a lot of the, because I don't know of anyone that's like super high view streamer that hasn't been streaming for like 5 years. Okay, you're probably going to accrue a lot of dead channels over 5 years, because especially a lot of them probably getting banned in other channels, right? A lot of your viewers might get their account suspended because they said some wild shit in someone else's chat. That's just what I would say. Obviously, feel free to disagree with me, because there's probably some knowledge out there I don't have.
I heard Twitch has a gift algorithm. So I bet Twitch wanted real users to watch more ads and pushed bots, aka new users, to get gifts versus old accounts. How are gift recipients chosen? We use an algorithm to help us select gift recipients, starting with eligible viewers in chat, then followers, mods, and other factors that identify members of a community. Our algorithm also avoids giving troll subs.
How would you know an account's a troll? I got a problem with that. Our algorithm also avoids giving troll subs. How would you know? How would you know what's a troll? How would you program an algorithm to know what a troll is? I don't know. That's a little. There's something about that. I don't. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know how you would do that. I would say this: there is a potential thing that it would gift subs to dead channels. I could see that. And the reason why I say that is because then Twitch has a vested interest to getting them back onto Twitch, right? Because most people are creatures of habit. So if you get them, it's kind of like gambling. And if you like, most gambling sites will gift people like $5 to $10 or like a 20 or 100, because once they start gambling, then they'll want to keep going, especially if they win. It's actually another thing is if you lose out on one of those gambling sites, they'll probably give you more money after a little while. So that way you'll keep gambling. Because they want you to win, so that way you'll keep gambling. That's the why a lot of them give you money when you start up. So Twitch is probably going to try to do the same thing, which is if this account was active recently, like a few months, like 2, 3, 4 months ago, and then you give a gifted sub, I could absolutely see it prioritizing that person. Again, probably not because they're a bot, probably because they think they consider it to be a person. At least when the algorithm was written, it's a person that has left the application, and now if they're gifted a sub, they're more likely to load up the application and look at it again. Because if you get a gifted sub, I get emails about that. Like, you just got a gifted sub to so-and-so. Or some shit like that.
So if you're a follower of someone's Twitch channel, you won't even get a subscription until all the bots and normal viewers who aren't following get one first.
That's not even true. That's not even true. The first gifted sub check that Penguin gave out, it gifted it at KJ. 100%. The second one it gave out, the second chunk she gave out to, she might actually not even remember this. The second chunk, KJ made a dumbass fucking account that was called Bunny Lover or some shit like that, because it was while we were playing Elden Ring, and he was trying to fucking troll me as some shit, and it gave that account a gifted sub. 100%. I remember that. Which was, at that time, not only a brand new account, which again goes back to the gambling thing, but it also was a first-time viewer. So, it makes sense. It tracks.
Yes, guys. Twitch is so money hungry, they designed their gifting algorithm to gift fake viewers subs first, so real viewers don't get the ability to skip ads. That way Twitch still gets money. Do we understand how fucking gross that is? That people who come here wanting to support the community and gift hundreds of subs, tens of subs, who are gifting all these fucking subs, and they're prioritizing people who aren't a part of the community first. That is absolutely fucking disgusting. Now, I'm going to interview some.
I mean, it's absolutely terrible if that is true. Like, absolutely, without a doubt. I feel like there's a little bit more nuance to that. I mean, obviously, I can be wrong. Absolutely, I 100% could be wrong about it. But I feel like that's just too wasteful, right? It's too wasteful, both one for a gifted sub, but also for Twitch itself. Like, that doesn't help Twitch. Because like, we all know, like notice even in my own channel, whenever we gift subs and it goes to bots, it feels like a little bit of a waste. And it's like the only thing that does is reinforce not gifting subs within Twitch. So that doesn't make any sense, right? Now, I still say they should definitely overhaul that system and probably make some modifications to it, because we're in a new day and age. But I just feel like that's too wasteful and too negative within Twitch. I know that he says, not him, but the guy that he was reading, that the reason why they're doing that is so that way you're more likely to give gifted subs to actual members after the fact, right? Like, you gift out 5 subs, and then you're like, oh, I want to gift it. Like, this guy didn't get a sub, so you gift it to them individually. I get that, but again, we're all creatures of habits, so you would just start doing that from then on.
One right here. Hey, Real Black Res, you gifted a shit ton of subs to me this morning. I think you gifted me like 40 subs. Out of curiosity, as a guy who gifts a lot of subs, does that make you feel good that viewbots are being targeted for receiving
I gotta start upping my content game.
Yeah, and the fact is that gifted subs should prioritize long-lasting community members first, the people who have followed you the most, not new users and viewbots. This is scummy as fuck, and you know it's scummy as fuck.
Now, see, that's where I have an issue with it, because he said not new users. And it's like, no, those are the ones that you probably should get the gifted subs to. Again, because then they're more likely to stick around. It's like, yeah, it's nice in theory to have your longtime viewers get the gifted sub, right? They're already watching the channel. I'm just talking strictly from a business perspective. They're already watching the channel. So if you're prioritizing them, then it's just a self-feeding. But you're not getting new people in there. New people aren't seeing what it's like to be as a sub. Because let's be honest, if you're subbed and then you're not subbed anymore and then you start getting hit with all those ads, it's a little bit of a shift. You're like, God, because now you got to experience what it was like. It's the same thing with all the membership shit. You got to experience what it's like without the ads. So no, from a business perspective, 100% it makes total sense for it to be to new viewers, right? And also, if you felt neutral about a streamer and then you got gifted a sub, like there's a lot of times I'll watch a guy and the next day I fucking forgot about that guy. I'm like, damn, I wish I could remember him. Or like a week or two goes by and I won't ever watch any of his streams because I missed them or they're mistimed or whatever. And then I'll just be like, eh. And then I'll unfollow. It happens all the time. I probably wouldn't do that if I got gifted a sub. Matter of fact, there are a lot of guys I've watched purely because they had a gifted sub.
And if you really want a reason on, is Twitch really that greedy? Are they really that scummy? Do they really lack that much money? Well, here's a clip to kind of showcase what I'm talking about.
Now I don't know what is it, but off the top of my head, I'm happy donating $1,000 for clean water right now.
Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, where XQC donated 100 grand, Jinxie donated 100 grand, Aiden Ross donated 100 grand because that's the money they made off of streaming. The CEO of Twitch only gave $1,000 from his multi-billion-dollar company of Twitch. Guys, are we serious?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Twitch is money hungry because I'm pretty sure they've been reporting losses for like the fucking past, I don't know, 10 years or so. I could be wrong. I need to look. I need to stop saying that. I need to look it up. Hold on. 1.8 billion in revenue in 2024, which marked an 8.1% decline from the previous year. Despite earning almost $2 billion a year, Twitch's earnings are insufficient to cover its operational costs.